Hello there, welcome to bitparade.co.uk's look at Daylight, which, if you don't know what Daylight is, it's a horror game, sort of reminiscent of, well, very reminiscent of Slender, if you played that. Like I said, simple looking. I'm just going to leave it on this because I want to get some talking out of the way before the introduction starts so that you can hear what's being said. Um, so it's procedurally generated, which means it's not random. It's everything has to fit together still. So there's notes to find, which is why it's like Slender. And when so they're dotted around the map, you find them. They're in different locations every time. The map's slightly different every time. Um, it's still themed, so we're going to start off in the hospital rather than say the prison or wherever else. So it's still kind of going to look similar, but the last time I played it looked fairly different. So I'll be talking through this, but not over the bits where I know there's going to be talking if I can help it. Um, but yeah, hopefully you enjoy.
Good, you've arrived. Sarah, focus. They haven't much time at all. They've been busy. They certainly have. Use that machine in your hand to find your way. There's much to see, much to learn.
Where am I?
It's been some time now. This place has been waiting for your arrival. Gather up everything you can. The memories contained within these walls are waiting to be found. Sarah, listen to me. You must succeed.
Oh no.
So this bit is usually the same every time, or it seems to be the same every time. I'll read this for you. Prisoner 52 seems to be experiencing visions of shadow people. Doctors on side keep trying conventional therapies, but I believe we need to start thinking about new procedures that push what we've come up with to date. So this bit seems to be the same as the entrance to the hospital.
Ah, Sarah, no matter where you go, there you are.
So it hitches a bit in this. I don't remember it doing it the first time I played. Okay, this is an issue I've had before. You can see the use thing pops up. It tends to it could be a bit funny. There was an area with some lockers that didn't open. I didn't realise I could get in them because I tried, but it just wasn't letting me click them. And similarly, we'll probably get to the bit where there's a key. And yeah, similar sort of thing. The key. This might be a little bit different actually. Just some of this layout. Yeah, the key. I couldn't pick it up. I knew what it was. I'd read the note that told me what it was, but I just couldn't for the life of me click it for ages. Which you can imagine, given that you're being stalked by a ghost, might be a bit of a problem.
We are but one thread woven from the web of life. All things connect. All things are bound.
So, concerning patient 13, run. So yeah, it seems to. It's not recreating it now, but I think partly because of the way it loads the levels, like say oh yeah, this is different. No, it isn't. Okay. The it can take a long time to load up the first time because it's trying to build the level for you. It is generally quicker in between levels, but you do get moments where it just hangs a bit. I had an issue right towards the end of the game where every time I turned into a certain direction, it was just hanging a little bit, and this is when it was out of beta. Okay. So let's go back and get a glow stick. You can only hold 4 glow sticks, and the thing next to the glow sticks in the bottom left is flares. Glow sticks reveal secrets. You see how that's lit up there? That's what the glow stick does. That gives me a good chance to talk about the remnants as well. Flares keep the witch or ghost away. This is another note about patient 13. Patient aged 10 months has been readmitted by her foster parents due to odd and frightening incidents that occurred shortly after she left the hospital. In the bottom right corner you can see remnants. It's only small. The UI is something I have a slight issue with on this. You need to find 6, like I say, it's a bit like Slender, which then opens, or it reveals the sigil or the key and you need to take that to the exit. The exit is just the exit of the area, but it's locked until you get the key, sort of psychically fused object or something. Next to that, you can see threat. That circle, it sort of fills in like a moon, like a moon chart. And it's generally, it says if you're in the shadows, it gets more dangerous. But as you can see, it's dark everywhere. You're in the shadows everywhere. So this, yeah, this is already different from both the other. Oh, sorry, I've been through this bit like 3 times or something. Let's sprint through some of this. So we could go up there, but let's keep going through the doors. So I think here is either the exit or the... No? Okay, well, let's go in this... No, can't go in this room. It's just a light flickering. So we'll go in here, because we can go in here. You see, I'm clicking on this, it's not... There we go. So, patient aged 7 years has been experiencing a fear of monsters in a room at night. A night shift nurse consoled the patient by reaffirming it was only in her imagination. The patient subsequently began exhibiting uncontrollable violence towards herself and staff members. So, this is something that, well, it's not a huge issue at the minute, but it's something... I can see the threat indicators filled in a little bit. I don't know if that's just because I've picked up a second remnant or just because I've been inside a little bit. So it's something that I saw people complain about on the Steam forums, that the game freezes when you're reading a note. So it sort of removes tension a little bit, or they were worried it would remove tension a little bit. I kind of don't mind that. I'd rather that than the game carry on and you be constantly running the risk of being attacked when you're trying to read the story. If you're trying to, particularly, if the game's trying to tell a story, you kind of need to be able to read it if it's going to be presented in notes, if you need to take it all in and stuff. So I don't have a problem with their way of doing things like that. And I've got a flare, which means I can defend myself, and another flare. So let's go in here. It's empty. I'm going to use another glow stick just to make this a bit easier for the run through. So you see stuff flickering, that's, it's a sign there's something going on. So this is my third one, the threat thing's just gone up again. Like I said, it's very like Slender if you played Slender. So it says patient is physically, this is about patient 27C, patient is physically healthy but deteriorating mentally. He remains in a straitjacket under constant observation. Patient continually yells that the maze is never ending. Screams continue throughout all hours of the day and night, ranging from low monotone chants to fevered, high-pitched howls. Electroshock therapy has been scheduled for tomorrow morning. So we need to pick a direction. So let's go this way. Now, you see how that's red? The ones right at the start of the game were blue. Red is that they're remnants. So if they're hidden in a filing cabinet or something like that, or in sort of a thing on the wall, I don't know, cabinet on the wall or something, then you obviously won't be able to tell. But if they're just pinned up like that, red ones mean they're important. So it says, this is 12A, patient 12A. Patient suffers from a hoarding problem, frequently hiding items she can get her hands on. Patient has been observed clutching objects and mumbling to herself in nonsense phrases described by the staff as disturbing. So this is one of the other issues I have with the game, is they throw a lot of numbers at you and names. Obviously there's no faces for you to put the names to. It's hard to know what you're supposed to, what's important, what's just scene setting early on. It sort of does tie it all up at the end, not all of it, but it does a better job in the end of making sense of things, which is a theme throughout, actually, that the end of the game is much better than the start. I had real issues with this at first. I wasn't enjoying it in the slightest, and it does get better. Okay, so we're now at half threat. We still haven't found where the sigil is or the exit. Hopefully they're both right near the start, so we can just sprint. So the village of New Kipling traces its roots to the mid-1600s. The rich fishing source, along with easy access to trade routes, drew early settlers to the village.
Ah, I see it.
Okay.
Reveal the sigil. Reclaim it and bring it to the gateway.
So when he says he can see it, he just means that because I've found 6 remnants, it's appeared on the map. He can't actually see it. It's not right next to you necessarily, which confused me a little at first. So this says a stuffed bear whom the patient refers to as her beloved has been placed in quarantine. The doctor recommends incineration as it has come in contact with the girl and might carry the disease. None of us had the heart to burn the stuffed animal, though I guess Mrs. Goodman or Ms. Goodman isn't the only one in this place with a soft spot for such a poor, wretched little girl. So let's see if... find another glow stick. Okay, so we found the exit. So we know where that is. I'm just going to go in here
I can't take any more of
to make
this.
sure it maps it. It's empty. I need to find the sigil. May or may not be. So there are more than 6 notes on lava. I don't know if there always are actually, but there can be. And I noticed an achievement for finding all of the notes you can find on a run through and find the least possible. Also on the achievement note, something that I thought was a good touch, not hugely important necessarily, but the achievements wait until you've turned the game off before they pop up. And that doesn't sound like much, but I think if you were supposed to sort of encounter the ghost for the first time and an achievement popped up, it would maybe nullify the it got an achievement. So it would nullify the scare, if you like, if sort of ding. Not that the Steam one's ding, but you know what I mean. So possessions to be removed from patients, and patient died overnight. 27C. I can't remember if that was one of the ones that was already mentioned. There was something C, but I thought it was like 12C or something. So who knows? So we are full threat here. Ah, there we go. There's the. You can see how it was lit up there.
What is this?
So this. Okay. I was going to complain, but you see, it picked up straight away. I've got too good at this game. Played through it a few times. Incidentally, if you want to see how this differs from another playthrough, I did a Twitch stream.
Disease and despair,
I should let this run.
and swift.
Actually, it's a bit not very smooth again. So I did a Twitch stream, which was the first sections of the game, and this is this is those sections again, but it's completely different from the other run I recorded.
I see.
So now I think you see how the threat symbol is now the threat indicator is now just a weird symbol. I can't remember where we're supposed to go. M and okay, so I need to keep going this way. So we didn't see the ghost on this one. So the other times, I think I've been through 3 times now, this early section. I've seen the ghost every time, and this time I didn't. So we'll keep playing. Get some more, I don't need any glow sticks, but too many glow sticks. I personally, if I was her, I'd take the bag. Seems like a good idea. So the way the game's split, we've had the section where I had to find the 6 remnants. This now is all about. I won't read this stuff. It's basically telling me that I need to open this security door using this switch that doesn't have any power yet. So we need to get that, find a way to get that working, which we will do. So yeah, and this is just basically to spoil it a bit for you. This note seems to be the same every time. It's just saying people have been lining up boxes to sort of hide behind and stuff, so they can smoke. Yeah, like I say, I apologise for sort of neutering this. I've been through it a few times, so that I sort of know what to expect, and it's just not having quite the same effect early on. But yeah, disappointing. We didn't see the ghost first time because it was at full threat. So, or maybe we did, and I just didn't pick up on it. Um, but I'll walk this bit rather than. So yeah, this stuff sometimes is a little different. So yeah, like I say, the game warns you that if you like stay out the shadows when you're being hunted by the ghost or the witch, it's hard to say what is a shadow and what isn't, because it's like I say, the game all looks like this. It's all dark. There's no real light bits.
Stop! Stop!
So much pain and suffering. And from those who would seek only solace. Feels you, Sarah.
What else was I going to talk about?
Truth. Really pure. Never simple.
So yeah, I wasn't finding the game. I'll just leave it on this for a second so I can say this. I wasn't finding the game hugely scary. I'm not a big horror game fan. I don't like them in general. Like the odd one, yeah. But the sort of tension of them, the stress of them, I don't enjoy them too much. Particularly ones where you have to find things. So that there's a fail state on this. If you get caught, you found 5 of the remnants, and you get caught by the witch, you fail, you die, you know have to start again. That happened a few times, and I don't enjoy that. I don't mind the scares so much. That's something I'll get to in a second. It's the loss of progress that I didn't enjoy. It seems weird that you make a deliberately obtuse game, and you know, with having to find the letters and them being hidden around. That's fine in and of itself, but to sort of, if that's the challenge, to make you repeat that challenge over and over and over, it sort of sounds like it should be similar to a sort of 16-bit era game, but don't know. It's not an improvement. It's not a test of skill. It's just luck or memory or how the level plans out for you. And again, that's something. The level where I was struggling when I turned it off in admittedly a bit of a mood. When I turned it back on, loaded up the game again, the level layout had changed a little, and the notes were really, really easy. I got it done straight away. Whereas the first time I was walking around for ages, I think I was on 4 of 6. We're heading over there in a second. I was on 4 of 6. Found the exit, found where the sigil was going to go. Could not find the last two items. So when I was complaining about the scares before, what I will say is as critical as I was going to be about it, like early on, like I said, first half of the game, I just wasn't really enjoying this. The final couple of sections, though, I really enjoyed it. It comes into its own a little, and some of the isn't necessarily. I'll just, do you know what, I'll just shut up for a second.
Does being out of the dark make you feel better? Well, it shouldn't.
This guy's a bit of a prick. Yeah, it's strange the way he's dealt with. See, it's never. I try not to reveal too much because to be honest, I didn't fully understand who he was supposed to be. I think I know. I did by the end, but I sort of suspected. Which is one of the problems with this game, is it doesn't do a lot of stuff new. It's well trodden ground, so to speak. Yeah, so I've completely forgotten what I was going to say about him. But yeah, he seems to be quite at the start of the game, he wants you to do well, and you saw the start of the game. He sort of says like, you must complete this, you must do this, and it sort of suggests like you have to beat them. So okay, we're back here. So there's the door again. So yeah, there's just certain bits where it sometimes feels more like style is taking precedent over the flow of things, like it making complete narrative sense. But yeah, like I say, as I was complaining about the horror and stuff, I yeah, in this later level, the threat of the ghost is ramped up, and she ended up. I've got surround sound set up, and she was just chasing after me through this. And in theory, like it wasn't as dark. It was more open. I should have been safer, but she was so much more aggressive and was hunting me down. And I could hear her sort of appearing behind me, sort of just bouncing left to right to left to right to left to right, which meant I couldn't stop running. And what I wanted to look at my map and to try and work out, am I going in the right direction? Have I been this place before? What's that building over there? And I couldn't stop, and it was really, really effective. It's like the times Daylight gets things right, it is really, really good. It's just most of it I found quite frustrating, and like I say, it borrows a lot of ideas in the. Okay, this is strange because this bit was in the hospital section for me. We're now out of the hospital section, but there are flares here. So like I say, some of it seems to be, and this is what I mean. I'm struggling to. There we go. I'm gonna call it a day here. I think. We'll see if there's something down here. If you don't, nope. I don't know if there ever is. Let's go all the way up. I was sort of hoping that it might trigger a scare or something, but at least this way I get to keep my dignity. So what I will say is it's generally been more. There's been more going on in my other playthroughs, so this maybe isn't the best run through to show you what it's like. Also, like I say, it's like the fourth time I've done this section now, so I sort of know it a bit too well. As you can see, though, we're back to 06 Remnant, so this is the start of the next chunk of game. Yeah, it's not too bad. I think it's launching at £8. If you like these kind of horror games, then it's very much one of those horror games, and it's not. The story's fine. Like, I didn't like the very, very last bit of the story. The last chunk prior to that, like the game, basically the game improves as it goes along, and that's true of the story. And then right at the end, it just sort of lays on a bit thick. But it doesn't quite do enough in terms of the scares. They're all a bit. I mean, it will make you jump a few times, but the first time I died in the game, I didn't realise I could die. I'd seen the ghost a couple of times at this point, but it was a sort of tease, like you saw where I flipped that switch and she was on the boxes and stuff. And the bit before that, where the warehouse was on fire, and there was a time in the hospital where she basically stood down the corridor. I think it's on that Twitch stream that I will link to in the notes below. So I wasn't. I thought it was just a scare. I didn't realise I could die, and she appeared, and I had no way out of this room. And as it turns out, you're supposed to run away. You're supposed to use flares, but I sort of jumped and then sort of carried on looking at her. So that's pretty cool. And she didn't disappear. She flickered a little bit, but she was still there. In fact, she might even have got closer. And I didn't do anything. I didn't react to it. There was a few too many moments where you know she's going to be behind you. You know, okay, I've just picked up a note. The threat level's quite high. She's going to be there. But other times where she was appearing, I was running along with a flare on or something like that, which will chase her away. And she was just essentially popping, like just disappearing because the flare was there. And I was running right at her, but I didn't realise I was. Things like that just kind of neuter it a little bit. And once you've died in a game like this, you've already faced your worst fear. You've already died to the ghost, so It's more than about, particularly if you have to redo a level, which I did like 3 times or something. Um, that it becomes she's more annoying than scary because you've dealt with it, you've faced her, and it's more okay, here we go again, and that's not a great thing for a horror game. I don't know what the solution is to that because it's the problem with the horror genre is it can be really really effective because it's really really immersive. As soon as that immersion breaks, i.e. you die, then it's just oh, she can't actually harm me. You're reminded too much. It becomes a game again, and that's always going to be the problem. So I don't think there's anything else. I'd say the UI. I'd say the threat thing. I wish that was a bit bigger so you could see that at a glance. It's way down at the bottom of the screen. Um, yeah. So if you like these kind of games more than I do, you may get more out of this than me. I don't think it's terrible. I did for a bit, but it's picked up as it went along. So yeah, I struggle to properly recommend it. But I think if you do like horror games and you're itching for another, this I don't think is going to be a classic, but at least it does some interesting Twitch stuff where people can interact with your game, and the way the level changes. Sorry, the way the level changes is it's not a bad idea. It's an interesting concept. Um, yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to say about it really. Uh, yeah, if you like the video, we're gonna have a review up on bitparade.co.uk. I will probably link to that below as well, and yeah, give us a like if you liked it. I wish we'd have seen more of the ghost. Like, I've been studying her a while, and she could have walked past. That would have been quite good, wouldn't it, if she'd have just walked past that open doorway there. Um, yeah, so I wish I could have seen more, or we could have seen more on this video, but like I say, the Twitch one has a few more things. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it.